Good morning. Today is Thursday, July 27th. I have to think about it because it's almost to the end of the month. Anyway, in Exodus chapter 4, it talks about Moses and his conversation with God on the mountain. And it tells you a little bit about Moses and a lot about God if you really read it. Because God was telling Moses how he was going to go do this great thing with the Israelites. And 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 Moses came up with all these excuses, and he's like, well, suppose they won't believe me, and how am I supposed to tell them that God actually appeared to me? And so the Lord said to him, what's in your hand? And he said, well, a rod. And he says, can't throw it on the ground. And it turned into a serpent. And then God said, pick it up by the tail. And he did. And it became the rod again in his hand. And of course, that scared Moses pretty good. You'd think that would have did it right there. He would have said, okay, that's it, Lord. I'm going to do whatever you say. But no, he still argued with him, even after another sign where he turned his hand into leprosy and back. And so then Moses said, but I can't speak either, Lord. I can't do anything. I can't speak. He said, you picked me, but I'm slow of speech and slow of tongue. And then God said to him, who's made man's mouth? Who makes the mute, the deaf, the seeing, or the blind? Have I? Not I, the Lord? Now go therefore, and I'll be with your mouth, and I'll teach you what you shall say. Moses was still determined not to do this job, and he said, but Lord, please send by your hand whomever you might send. And then God got kind of mad at him, but he was still patient enough with him, and he said, all right, Aaron the Levite, your brother, I'm sending him. He can speak well. And look, he's coming to meet you right now. Wow. So God already knew all this was going to take place, because it was quite a journey to get from where Aaron was to Moses, but he was there already. And he said to him, now you shall speak to him and put the words in his mouth, and I'll be with your mouth and with his mouth, and I'll teach you what you shall say and what you're going to do. And he says, he'll be your spokesman to the people, and he himself will be a mouth for you, and you shall be to him as God. Wow, even though God was still kind of ticked off at Moses for questioning all the things he could do, he still went ahead and was patient with him, and he still helped him completely. This snake, that the rod turned into the snake, I think this may have another meaning also. I think it means the power that we have could be used for good or bad. And when he picked it up by the tail, he was controlling that power, and it turned back into a rod. And I think that tells us we have to be very careful with what we have to serve God with. And we have to be very careful, especially if it brings any kind of power, or people listen to you or whatever, which they're supposed to do. We're supposed to talk to them. If you have a mouth, use it. Talk to people, even if it's to make a phone call and ask how somebody's doing that needs to hear from you, or needs maybe an encouraging word. If you have a pen in your hand, you can write. If you have a phone, you obviously have some kind of phone to be hearing me, so that means you have some way of communicating and serving God in some way. And so all these things, and worst comes to worst, get together with somebody like Moses did and let them help you. Let their gifts be used through you in some way. So, this is a very, very good teaching, and if I have more time I'd talk about it, but I don't want to wear you out. So have a great day, and God bless you.